Say, Lucetta, now we are alone. Wouldst thou then counsel me to fall in love?
Aye, madam, so you stumble not unheedfully.
Of all the fair resorts of gentlemen that every day parle encounter me, in thy opinion, which is worthiest love?
Please you repeat their names. I'll show my mind, according to my shallow, simple skill.
What thinkst thou of the fair Sir Eglamour?
As of a knight, well spoken, neat, and fine. But were I you, he never should be mine.
What thinkst thou of the rich Mercatio?
Well of his wealth, but of himself, so.
What thinkst thou of the gentle Proteus?
Lord, to see what folly reigns in us.
How now? What means this passion of his name?
Pardon, dear madam, 'tis a passing shame, that I, unworthy body as I am, should censure thus on lovely gentlemen.
Why not on Proteus as of all the rest?
Then thus, of many good, I think him best.
Your reason?
I have no other but a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
And wouldst thou have me cast my love on him?
Aye, if you thought your love not cast away.
Why, he, of all the rest, hath never moved me.
Yet he, of all the rest, I think best loves ye.
His little speaking shows his love but small.
Fire that's closest kept burns most of all.
They do not love that do not show their love.
Oh, they love least that let men know their love.
I would I knew his mind.
Peruse this paper, madam.
To Julia? Say, from whom?
That the contents will show.
Say, who gave it thee?
Sir Valentine's page, and sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it you, but I being in the way, did in your name receive it, pardon the fault I pray.
Now, by my modesty, a goodly broker, dare you presume to harbor wanton lines, to whisper and conspire against my youth? Now trust to me, 'tis an office of great worth, and you an officer fit for the place. There. Take the paper, see it be returned, or else return no more into my sight.
To plead for love deserves more fee than hate.
Will he be gone?
That you may ruminate.
And yet I would I had o'erlooked the letter. Oh. For a shame to call her back again, and pray her to a fault for which I chid her. What fool is she, that knows I am a maid, and would not force the letter to my view? Since maids, in modesty, say no to that which they would have the profferer construe aye. Oh. Fie, how wayward is this foolish love, that like a testy babe will scratch the nurse, and presently all humbled kiss the rod? Oh, how churlishly I chid Lucetta hence, when willingly I would have had her here. How angrily I taught my brow to frown, when inward joy enforced my heart to smile. My penance is to call Lucetta back and ask permission for my folly past. What ho, Lucetta?
What would your ladyship?
Is near dinner time.
I would it were that you might kill your stomach on your meat and not upon your maid.
What is that you took up so gingerly?
Nothing.
Why didst thou stoop then?
To take a paper up that I let fall.
And is that paper nothing?
Nothing concerning me.
Then let it lie, for those that it concerns.
Madam, it will not lie where it concerns, unless it have a false interpreter.
This babble shall not henceforth trouble me. Go, get you gone, and let the papers lie. You would be fingering them to anger me.
She makes it strange, but she would be best pleased to be so angered by another letter.
Nay, would I were so angered with the same! Oh, hateful hands, to tear such loving words, injurious wasps, to feed on such sweet honey, and kill the bees that yield it with your stings. Oh, I will kiss each several paper for amends. Look, here is writ, kind Julia. Unkind Julia. As in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. Lo, here is writ, love wounded Proteus. Oh, poor wounded name. My My bosom as a bed shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed. And thus I search it with a sovereign kiss. Oh, but twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Oh, be calm, good wind! Blow not a word away, till I have found each letter in the letter, except mine own name. That some whirlwind bear into a ragged, fearful, hanging rock, and throw it thence into the raging sea. Lo, here in one line is his name twice writ. Poor forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia. That'll tear away. Yet I will not, since so prettily he couples into his complaining names. Thus will I fold thee, one upon another. Now kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will.
Madam, dinner's ready, and your father stays.
Well, let us go.
What? Shall these papers lie like telltales here?
If you respect them, best to take them up.
Nay, I was taken up for laying them down. Yet here they shall not lie for catching cold.
I see you have a month's mind to them.
Aye, madam. You may say what sights you see. I see things too. Although you judge, I wink.
Come, come. Well, please you go.
Sir, your glove?
Not mine. My gloves are on.
Why, then it may be yours, for this is but one.
Let me see. Give it to me. It's mine. Sweet ornament that decks a thing divine. Sylvia, Sylvia.
Madam Sylvia! Madam Sylvia!
How now, sirrah?
She is not within hearing, sir.
Why, sir, who better call her?
Your worship, or else I mistook.
Well, you'll still be too forward.
And yet I was last chidden for being too slow.
Go to sir, tell me, do you know Madam Sylvia?
She that your worship loves?
Why? How we know that I'm in love?
Marry, by these special marks. First, you have learned like Sir Proteus to wreathe your arms like a malcontent, to walk alone like one that had the pestilence, to sigh like a schoolboy that had lost his ABCs, to weep like a young wench that had buried her grandmom, to relish a love song like a robin redbreast, to watch like one that fears robbing, to speak puling like a beggar at Hallows Mass. You were wont, when you laughed, to crow like a cock, when you walked, to walk like one of the lions, when you fasted, it was presently after dinner, and when you looked sadly, it was for want of money. And now you are metamorphosed with a mistress, that when I look at you, I can hardly think you my master.
Are all these things perceived in me?
They are all perceived without me.
Without me, they cannot.
Without you? Nay, that's certain. For without you were so simple, but you are so without these follies that these follies are within you, and shine through you like the water in a urinal, that when I look at you, it is but a physician to comment on your malady.
But tell me, thus though you know my lady Sylvia?
She that you gaze on so as she sits at supper?
Hast thou observed that? Even she I mean.
Why, sir, I know her not.
Thus thou know her by my gazing on her, and yet knowst her not.
Tell me, sir, is she not hard favored?
Not so fair, boy, as well favored.
I know that well enough.
What dost thou know?
That she is not so fair as of you well favored.
I mean, her beauty is exquisite, but her favor infinite.
That's because the one is painted and the other out of all count.
How painted and how out of count?
So painted to make her fair that no man counts of her beauty.
How seems thou me? I account of her beauty.
You never saw her since she was deformed.
How long has she been deformed?
Ever since you loved her.
I have loved her ever since I saw her, and I still see her beautiful.
Oh, if you love her, you cannot see her.
Why?
Because love is blind. Oh, that you had mine eyes, or your own eyes had the lights they were wont to have when you cheated Sir Proteus for going ungartered.
What should I see then?
Your present folly and her passing deformity. For he being in love could not see to garter his hose, and you being in love could not see to put on your hose.
Be like a boy, then you are in love. Last morning, you could not see to wipe my shoes.
True, sir. I was in love with my bed. But I thank you. You swinged me for my love, which makes me the bolder to chide you for yours.
In conclusion, I stand affected to her.
I would you were set so your affection would cease.
Last night she enjoined me to write lines to one she loves.
And have you?
I have.
Are they not lamely writ?
No, boy, as well as I can do them. Peace, here she comes.
Oh, excellent motion. Oh, exceeding puppet. Now he will interpret to her.
Madam and mistress, 1,000 good morrows.
Oh, give ye good evening. Here's a million of manners.
Sir Valentine and servant. To you, 2,000.
He should give her interest, and she gives it him.
As you enjoined me to write a letter unto the secret nameless friend of yours, and as I was much unwillingly to proceed, but for my duty to your ladyship.
I thank you, gentle servant. 'Tis very clerkly done.
Now trust me, madam, it came hardly off for being ignorant to whom it goes, as I writ it random, very doubtfully.
Perchance you think too much of so much pains.
No, madam, it's steady you. I'll write again. You please command 1,000 times, as much as I can.
A pretty period. Well, I guess suitable. And yet I will not name it. And yet I care not. And yet take this again. And yet I thank you. Meaning henceforth to trouble you no more.
And yet you will. And yet, another yet.
What it means, your ladyship, did you not like it?
Yes, yes. The lines are very quaintly writ. But, since unwillingly, take them again. Nay, take them.
Madam, they are for you.
I. You writ them at my request, but I will none of them. They are for you. I would have had them writ more movingly.
Please you, I'll write you another, ladyship.
And when it's writ, for my sake, read it over. If it please you, so. If not, why so?
If it please me, madam, what then?
Why, if it please you, take it for your labor. And so good morrow, servant.
Oh, jest unseen. Inscrutable, invisible as a nose on a man's face or a weathercock on a steeple. My master sues to her, and she hath taught her suitor, that he being scribe to become her tutor. Oh, excellent device. Was there ever heard a better? That my master being scribe to himself should write the letter?
How now, sir? What are you reasoning to yourself?
Nay, I was running. 'Tis you that have the reason.
To do what?
To be a spokesman from Madame Sylvia?
To whom?
To yourself, why she woos you by a figure.
What figure?
By a letter, I should say.
Why she had not writ to me?
Oh, what need she? When she hath made you write to yourself, why do you not perceive the jest?
No, believe me.
No, believing you indeed, sir. But did you perceive her earnest?
She gave me none except an angry word.
She hath given you a letter.
That's the letter I writ to her friend.
And the letter has she delivered, and there an end.
I would it were no worse.
I'll warrant you, 'tis as well. For often have you writ to her, and she in modesty, or else for want of idle time, could not again reply, or fearing else some messenger that might her mind discover, herself hath taught her love himself to write unto her lover. All this I speak in print, for in print I found it. Why muse you, sir? 'Tis dinner time.
I have dined.
Aye, but hearken, sir. Though the chameleon love can feed on the air, I am one that am nourished by my victuals, and would fain have meat. Oh, be not like your mistress. Be moved, be moved.
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid far art more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but green and sick, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they, in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eye in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. How she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
Oh, she speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part. Oh, be some other name belonging to a man. What's a name? That which we call a rose, by any other word would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes. Without that title, Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name! I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear Sate, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have yet not drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do, that love does attempt. Therefore kinsmen are no stop to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eyes than 20 of their swords. Thou look but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love first did prompt me to inquire. He let me counsel, and I lent him eyes.
Thou know'st the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek. For that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou mayst prove false. At lovers' perjuries they say Jove laughed. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behavior light. But trust me, gentleman, I'll prove more true than those that have more coying to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst ere I was ware my true love's passion. Therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder moon I vow that tips with all silver tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love be likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all. Or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love...
Well, do not swear at all. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be. Ere one can say, it lightens. Sweet good night, this bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, as sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and give it to thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed night, I'm afeard. Being in night, all this is but a dream, too flattering, sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
By I come, but if thou meanst not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come, to cease thy strife, and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times to want thy light. Love goes towards love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's herald should be thoughts, which 10 times faster glides than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over lowering hills. Therefore do nimble pinioned doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind-swift Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12, 3 long hours, yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm, youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many fain as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. Oh God, she comes. Oh, honey nurse, what news? Hast thou met with him? Send thy man away.
Peter, stay at the gate.
Now, good, sweet nurse. Oh Lord, why look'st thou sad? Though news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou shapest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I'm weary, give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunt have I had.
I would thou hadst my bones, and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee speak. Good, good nurse, Speak.
Yes, sir, what haste? Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath, when thou hadst breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that. Say either, and I'll stay the circumstance. Let me be satisfied! It's good or bad.
Well, you know not how to choose a man. Romeo? No, not he, though his face be better than any man's. Yet his leg excels all men's, and for a hand, and a foot, and a body, though those be not to be talked on. Yet they're past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench, serve God. What, have you dined home today?
No. No, but all this did I know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Lord, how my head aches! What a head have I! It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces. Beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch my death with jaunting up and down.
Faith, I am sorry that thou art so well. Sweet, sweet, sweet nurse, tell me what says my love.
Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and I warrant a virtuous. Where is your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says like an honest gentleman. Where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot? Mary, come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward do your messages yourself.
Here's such a coil. Come what says Romeo.
Have you got leave to go to shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you hence to Friar Lawrence' cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Here comes up the wanton blood up in your cheeks, and I'll be in scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church. I must another way, to fetch a ladder by which your love must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. I am the drudge and toil in your delight, but you will bear the burden soon at night. Go, all to dinner. Hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune, honest nurse. Farewell.
And there my verse, in witness of my love. And thou, thrice crowned queen of night, survey with thy chaste eye, from thy pale sphere above thy huntress name, that my full life doth sway. O Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their barks my thoughts I'll character, that every eye which in this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree, the fair, the chaste, the unexpressive she.
From the east to western Indy, no jewel is like Rosalindy. Her worth be mounted on the windy. Through all the world bears Rosalindy. All the pictures fairest lines, but are black to Rosaline. Let no face be kept in mind, but the fair of Rosaline.
Why should this desert be? For it is unpeopled? No. Tongues I hang on every tree, that's how civil sayings show. Yea, upon the fairest vows, art every sentence end, while I, Rosalinda, write, teaching all that read to know. The quintessence of every sprite, heaven would in little show. Therefore heaven nature charged, that one's body should be filled with all graces wide and large. Nature presently distilled, Helen's cheek, but not her heart, Cleopatra's majesty, Atalanta's better part,
sad Lucretia's modesty, touched Rosalind in many parts, by heavenly synod was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts, to have the touch's dearest prize. Heaven that thee she said, and I to live and die her slave.
Oh, most gentle Jupiter, what tedious homily of love have you wearied your parishioners withal, and never cried. Have patience, good people.
Didst thou hear these verses?
Oh yes, I heard them all, and more too, for some of them had in them more feet than the verses would bear.
But dost thou hear without wondering how thy name should be carved and hanged upon these trees?
I was 7 out of the 9 days out of the wonder before you came. For look here what I found on a palm tree. I was never so begrimed since Pythagoras' time that I was an Irish rat, which I can hardly remember.
Trow you who have done this.
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck? Changed you color?
I prithee who?
Oh Lord, Lord, it is a hard matter for friends to meet, but mountains may be removed of earthquakes and so encounter.
Nay, but who is it?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee now, with most petition and vehemence, tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again wonderful, and after that, out of all hooping.
Good my complexion. Dost thou think I have comparisons like a man? I have a doublet and hose in my disposition. 1 inch of delay more as the south sea of discovery. I prithee, tell me who it is quickly and speak apace. I would thou couldn't stammer, thou mightest pour this concealed man out of thy mouth, as wine comes out of the narrow mouth bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth, that I may drink thy tidings.
So you may put a man in your belly?
Is he of God's making? What manner of man? Is his head worth a hat or his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard.
Why, God will send more if the man be thankful. Let me stay the growth of his beard if thou delay me not the knowledge of his chin.
It is young Orlando that tripped up the wrestler's heels, and your heart, both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking. Speak, sad brow and true maid.
In faith, cause to see.
Orlando?
Orlando.
Alas the day! What shall I do with my double and hose? What did he when thou sawest him? How looked he? Wherein went he? Did he ask for me? Where remains he? How parteth he with thee, and when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
You must borrow me Gargantula's mouth first. 'Tis a word too great for any mouth with this age's size. To say aye and no to these particulars is more than to answer the catechism.
But doth he know I am in this forest, and in men's apparel? Looked he as freshly as he did the day he wrestled?
It is as easy to count enemies as to resolve the propositions of a lover. But take the taste of my fighting him, and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree, like a dropped acorn.
It may well be called Jove's shoe when it drops forth fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Proceed.
There laid he stretched along like a wounded knight.
Though it be pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Cry hollow to the tongue I pretty, the curvet unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous, he comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song without a burden. Thou spring me out of tune.
Do you not know I am a woman when I think I must be sweet? Say on.
You bring me out. Soft, comes he not here?
'Tis he. Slink by and note him.
Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me. Do not, Phoebe, say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner, whose heart the customed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humbled neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that lives and dies by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou tell'st me there is murder in mine eye. 'Tis pretty sure and very probable that eyes are the softest, frailest things, who shut their coward gates on enemies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now, I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes can wound, now let them kill mine eye hath made in thee. Scratch thee, but with a pin, and there remains some scar of it. Lean upon a rush, the cicatrice and capable in pressure thy palm some moment keeps. But now, mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not, nor, I am sure, there is no force in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh, dear Phoebe, if ever, as that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, then shall you know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time, come not thou near me, and when that time comes, afflict me with thy mocks, pity me not, as till that time I shall not pity thee.
And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What though you have no beauty? As by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed. Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail warp. Odds my little life, I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can entame my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy south puffing with wind and rain? You are 8,000 times a proper man than she, a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that make the world fill of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, and out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But mistress, know yourself, down on your knee, and thank heaven fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you, friendly in your ear, sell when you can, you're not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd, fare you well.
Sweet youth, I pray you chide a year together. I had rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as fast as she answers thee with frowning looks, I'll sauce her with bitter words. Why look you so upon me?
For no ill will I bear you.
I pray you do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Besides, I like you not. Shepherd, ply her hard. Shepherdess, look on him better, and be not proud, though all the world could see. None could be so abused in sight as he.
Dead shepherd, now I finally saw of might. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Sweet Phoebe.
Huh? What sayest thou, Silvius?
Sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. If you do sorrow at my grief in love, by giving love, your sorrow and my grief were both extermined.
Thou hast my love. Is not that neighborly?
I would have you.
Why, that were covetousness. Silvius, the time was that I hated thee, and yet it is not that I bear thee love, but since that thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was irksome to me, I shall endure, and I'll employ thee too. But do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love, and I in such a poverty of grace, that I shall think it a most plenteous crop to glean the broken ears after the man that the main harvest reaps. Loose now and then a scattered smile, and that I'll live upon.
Knowest thou the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not very well, but I have met him oft.
Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. He is a pretty youth, not very pretty, but sure he's proud, and yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion. and faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. He's not very tall, but for his years he's tall. His leg is but so, and yet 'tis well. There is a pretty redness in his lip, a little darker, more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference betwixt the constant red and mingled damask. There be some women, Sylvius, had they marked him in parcels, as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not, and yet have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black, and my hair black, and now I am remembered, scorned at me. I wonder why I answered not again. But that's all one. Omittance is no quittance. I'll write to him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Sylvius?
Phoebe, with all my heart.
I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. I'll be bitter with him, and passing short. Go with me, Sylvius.
My dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thee wear thy heart in a scarf.
It is my arm.
I thought thy heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Does your brother tell you how I counterfeited to swoon when he showed me your bloody handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
Oh, I know where you are. Nay, 'tis true. There was never anything so sudden but the fight of two rams and Caesar's thrasonical brag of I came, saw, and overcame. Your brother and my sister no sooner met but they looked, no sooner looked but they loved, no sooner loved but they sighed, no sooner sighed but they asked one another the reason, no sooner knew the reason but they sought the remedy, and in these degrees had they made a pair of stairs to marriage in which they will climb incontinent, or else be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love, and they will together. Clubs cannot part them.
They shall be married tomorrow, but oh, how a bitter thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes. By so much the more shall I tomorrow be at the height of heart heaviness, by how much I shall think my brother happy in having what he wishes for.
Why then tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind.
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you then no longer with idle talking. Know of me then, for now I speak to some purpose, that I know you are a gentleman of good conceit. And believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have since I was 3 years old conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind so near the heart as your gesture cries it out, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her? I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it's not impossible to me if it appear not inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life I do. Therefore, put you in your best array, bid your friends, for if you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind, if you will. Look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
You have done me much ungentleness to show the letter that I've writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You were there followed by a faithful shepherd. Look upon him, love him. He worships you.
Good shepherd, tell us who wants us to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and service, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all made of passion, and all made of wishes, all adoration, duty and observance, all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all purity, all trial, all observance, and so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Why do you speak to? Why blame you me to love you?
To her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Pray you no more of this, just like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. Tomorrow, meet me all together. I will marry you if ever I marry a woman, and I'll be married tomorrow.
Yay.
I'll satisfy you if ever I satisfy man, and you shall be married tomorrow. I'll content you if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind meet, as you love Phoebe meet, and as I love no woman I'll meet. So fare you well, I have left you commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Were not you even now with the Countess Olivia?
Even now, sir, on a moderate pace, I have since arrived hither.
She returns this ring to you, sir. You might have saved me my pains to have taken it away yourself. She adds moreover that you should put your lord into a desperate assurance. She will none of him. And one thing more, that you be never so hardy to come again in his affairs, unless it be to report your lord's taking of this. Receive it so.
She took the ring of me. Ow, none of it.
Come, sir, you peevishly threw it to her, and her will is it should be so returned. If it be worth stooping for, there it lies, in your eye. If not, be it his that finds it.
I left no ring with her. What means this lady? Fortune forbid my outside have not charmed her. She made good view of me, indeed so much that methought her eyes had lost her tongue, for she did speak and starts distractedly. She loves me, sure. The cunning of her passion invites me in this churlish messenger. None of my lord's ring, why he sent her none. I am the man, if it be so as 'tis. Poor lady, she were better love a dream. Disguised, I say thou or wickedness, wherein the pregnant enemy does much. How easy it is for the proper false in women's waxen hearts to set their forms. Alas, oh frailty is the cause, not we, or such if we are made, if such we be. How will this fadge? My master loves her dearly, and I, poor monster, fond as much on him, and she, mistaken, seems to dote on me. What will become of this? As I am man, my state is desperate for my master's love, and as I am woman, now alas the day, of what thriftless sights shall poor Olivia breathe? O time, thou must untangle this knot, I. It is too hard a knot for me to untie.
Wouldst thou not be glad to have the rascalish biter come by some notable shame?
I would exult, man. You know you brought me out of favor with my lady about the bear baiting ye?
To anger him, we'll have the bear again, and we tell him black and blue. Shall we not, surrender?
And we do not. It is pity of our lives.
Here comes the little villain. How now, my metal of India?
Get ye all three into the box tree. Malvolio's coming down this walk. He has been yonder in the sun practicing behavior to his own shadow this half hour. Observe him for the love of mockery, for I know this letter will make a contemplative idiot of him. Close, in the name of jesting. Lie thou there, for here comes a trout that must be caught with tickling.
'Tis but fortune, all is fortune. Marie once told me that she did affect me, and I have heard herself come thus near, that should she fancy
It should be one of my complexion. Besides, she uses me with a more exalted respect than anyone else that follows her. What should I think on it?
You're the Norwegian rogue!
Oh, peace! Slide I could submit the rogue!
To be Count Malvolio.
Rogue!
There is example for it. The lady of the Strachey married the yeoman of the wardrobe.
Fire him, Jezebel!
Oh, peace. Now it's deeply in. Look how imagination blows him.
Having been 3 months married to her, sitting in my state, calling my officers about me in my branched velvet gown, I come from a daybed where I have left Olivia sleeping.
Fire up instant!
And then to have the humor of state, and after a demure travail of regard, telling them I know my place, as I would they should do theirs, to ask for my kinsman, Toby.
Votes and seconds!
Oh, peace. Now.
7 of my people with an obedient start make out for him. I frown the while, and perchance wind up my watch or play with my some rich jewel. Toby approaches, curtsies there to me.
Shall this fellow live?
I extend my hand to him thus, quenching my familiar smile with an austere regard of control, saying, Cousin Toby, my fortunes having cast me on your niece, give me this prerogative of speech.
What?
You must amend your drunkenness.
Out, scab!
Nay, patience, or we break the news of our plot.
Besides, you waste the treasure of your time with a foolish knight.
That's me, I warrant you.
One Sir Andrew.
I knew to was that for many to call me fool?
What employment have we here?
Now is the woodcock near the jail?
Oh, peace and the spirit of human intimate reading aloud to him.
By my life, this is my lady's hand. These be her very C's, her U's, and her T's, and thus makes she her great P's. It is in contempt of question her hand.
Her C's, her U's, and her T's? Why that?
To the unknown beloved, this and my good wishes. Her very phrases. By olive wax, soft in the impressure her Lucrece with which he uses to seal. 'Tis my lady. To whom should this be?
This wins it, liver and all.
Jove knows I love, but who? Lips do not move, no man must know. Man must know what follows. The number's altered. No man must know. If this should be thee, Malvolio.
Marry Hank and Duke!
I may command where I adore, but silent like a Lucrece knife. With bloodless stroke my heart doth gore. M-O-A-I doth sway my life.
Excellent invention, say I.
M-O-A-I doth sway my life. Nay, but first, let me see.
What dish of poison I should rescue?
I may command where I adore. Why, she may command me, I serve her. She is my lady. Why, this is evident to any formal capacity. There is no obstruction in this. And the end, what should that alphabetical position portend? If I could make it resemble something in me. Softly. M-O-A-I.
Oh, I make up that. He's now at full scent.
M. Malvolio, M. Why, that begins my name.
I knew you'd work it out. The colonel is excellent at faults.
M. But then there is no consonancy in the sequel that suffers under probation. A should follow, but O does. And then I comes behind.
Aye, and you had any eye behind you? You might see more detraction at your heels than fortunes before you.
M-O-A-I. The simulation is not as the former, and yet to crush this a little, it would bow to me, for all of these letters are in my name. Soft, here follows prose. If this fall into thy hand, revolve. In my stars I am above thee, but be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Thy fates open their hand, let thy blood and spirit embrace them, and to inure thyself to what thou art like to be. Cast thy humble slough and appear fresh. Be opposite with a kinsman, surly with servants. Let thy tongue tang arguments of state. Put thyself into the trick of singularity. She thus advises thee, that sighs for thee. remember who commended thy yellow stockings and wished to see thee cross-gartered. I say, remember, go to. Thou art made, if thou desirest to be so. If not, let me sheathe thee, a steward still, the fellow of servants, and not worthy to touch fortune's fingers. Farewell, she that would alter services with thee, the fortunate unhappy. Daylight discovers not more. This is open. I will be proud. I will read politic authors. I will baffle Sir Toby. I will wash off gross acquaintance. I will be point, device, the very man. I do not now fool myself to let imagination jade me, for every reason excites to this, that my lady loves me. She did commend my yellow stockings of late. She did praise my leg cross-gartered. And in this she manifests herself to my love, and with a kind of injunction drives me to these habits of her liking. I thank my stars I am happy. I will be strange, stout, in yellow stockings, and cross-gartered, even with the swiftness of putting on. Jove, and my stars be praised. Here is your postscript. Thou canst not choose but know who I am. If thou entertainst my love, let it appear in thy smiling. Thy smiles become thee well, therefore in my presence still smile, dear o' my sweet, I prithee. Jove, I thank thee. I will smile. I will do everything that thou wilt have me.
I will not give a part of this sport for a pension of thousands to be paid from the Sophie. I could marry this wench for this device.
So could I too.
And no, ask no other dowry with her, but such another jest.
Nor I neither.
Here comes my noble girl catcher. Wilt thou set thy foot on my neck?
Or am I neither?
Shall I play the freedom of trade trip and become thy bond slave?
I faith or I either.
Why thou had pushed him in such a dream, that when the image of it leaves him, he must run mad?
Nay, but say true. Does it work upon him?
Like aquavitae with a midwife.
If you will then see the fruits of the sport, mark his first approach before my lady. He will come to her in yellow stockings, and 'tis a color she abhors, and cross-gartered, a fashion she detests. And he will smile upon her, which will now be so unsuitable to her disposition, being addicted to melancholy as she is, that it cannot but turn him into a notable contempt.
I will follow to the gates of Charter, thou most excellent development.
I'll make one too.
Desire the spleen, and will laugh yourself into stitches. Follow me. Yond gull Malvolio is turned heathen, a very renegatho, for there is no Christian that means to be saved by believing rightly can ever believe such impossible passages of grossness. He's in yellow stockings!
And cross-gartered?
Most villainously. I have dogged him like his murderer. He does obey every point of the letter that I dropped to betray him. He does smile his face into more lines than is in the new map with the augmentation of the Indies. You have not seen such a thing as 'tis. I can hardly forbear hurling things at him. I know my lady will strike him. If she do, he'll smile and take it for a great favor.
Come bring us where he is.
Maria, where is Malvolio? He is sad and civil and suits well for a servant with my fortunes. Maria, where is Malvolio?
He's coming, madam, but in very strange manner. He's sure possessed, madam.
Why? What's the matter? Does he rave?
No, madam. He does nothing but smile. Your ladyship were best to have some guard about you if he comes, for sure the man is tainted in his wits.
Go call him hither. I am as mad as he, if sad and merry madness equal be. How now, Malvolio?
Sweet lady! Ho, ho!
Smiles thou? I sent for thee upon a sad occasion.
Sad? I could be sad. This does make some obstruction in the blood, this cross-gartering, but what of that? If it please the eye of one, then it is with me as the very true sonnet is. Please one, and please all.
Why, how dost thou, man? What is the matter with thee?
Not black in my mind, though yellow in my legs. It did come to his hand, and commandments shall be executed, and I think we do know the sweet Roman hand.
Wilt thou go to bed, Malvolio?
To bed, my sweetheart, and oh, come to thee.
God comfort thee! Why dost thou smile so, and kiss thy hand so oft?
How do you, Malvolio?
At your request, yes, nightingales answer daws.
Why appear you with this ridiculous boldness before my lady?
Be not afraid of greatness. 'Twas well writ.
What meanst thou by that, Malvolio?
Some are born great.
Huh?
Some achieve greatness.
What sayst thou?
And some have greatness thrust upon them.
Heaven restore thee.
Remember who commended thy yellow stockings.
Thy yellow stockings?
And wished to see thee cross-gartered.
Cross-gartered?
Go to, thou art made, if thou desirest to be so.
Am I made?
If not, let me see thee a servant still.
Why, this is very midsummer madness. Good Maria, let this fellow be looked to. Where's my cousin Toby? Let some of my people have a special care of him. I would not have him miscarry for the half of my dowry.
Oh, do you come near me now? No worse man than Sir Toby to look to me. This concurs directly with the letter. She sends him on purpose, that I may appear stubborn to him, for she incites me to that in the letter. Cast thy humble slough, says she. Be opposite with the kinsmen, surly with servants. Let thy tongue tang with arguments of state. Put thyself into the trick of singularity. I have lied her, but it is Jove's doing, and Jove make me thankful. And when she went away, let this fellow be looked to. Fellow! Not Malvolio, nor after my degree, but fellow. Why, everything adheres together, that no dram of the scruple, no scruple of the scruple, no obstacle, no incredulous or unsafe circumstance. What can be said? Nothing that can come between me and the full prospect of my hopes. Well, Jove, not I, is the doer of this, and he is to be thanked. Mwah!